for many years of my life, Yom Kippur was seen as an intimate day with us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a time for tshuva, for slichot mechila, for kapara, ultimately for tahara, for a time where you reach the pinnacle of your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And for whatever reason, I always sort of viewed that opportunity and that interaction as personal vis-a-vis myself and God. You know, how am I going to be a better servant of God? Usually reflective in things like, am I going to daven better? Or am I going to be more timely? Spoiler alert, didn't happen. Am I going to, learn more? Am I going to focus more on religious events and activities? And for whatever reason, there often was a lacking on my own end on focusing on things that are not bein adam lamakom, but bein adam lechavero. That I guess because I had viewed this as a personal day with God, we're waiting for one more, right? He'll be right back. That I should be focusing on the things that are between me and God, not realizing that God has commanded me to focus on other people as well. And bein adam lechavero is not a small thing. It's half of the Aseres Hadibros. It is probably about half of the mitzvos. And if you look carefully through the Al-Chetz and on the Ashamnus, most of them are bein adam lechavero. There's a few bein adam lamakoms thrown in there, sprinkled in there. But a lot of them are actually focusing on how you interact with other people, the bein adam lechavero aspect.
Even the Al-Chetz?
Yeah. Kibud av, lashon hara, shochad. We're talking about things that are how you interact with people. I'm trying to think if is there an al-chet that I don't have kavana in tefillah? I don't know. I don't think so.
That
you don't have kavana when you're davening. I don't think so.
Right.
So so most of them are actually bein adam l'chavero. So the Rav, as quoted by Rav Shurkin in his Sefer on the Moadim, explains, he has two explanations for why bein adam l'chavero has to be a focus. Not just can be a focus, but has to be a focus. And I think there are two really beautiful explanations. The first is that he said that he points out that in the Gemara in Bava Kama, the Gemara says that even if you damage someone, then you're not forgiven, even if you pay him back for your damages until you actually ask him for forgiveness. So the Rav said that there's obviously a minimal requirement to get forgiveness by asking for mechila from the person. But on Yom Kippur, it's much more than that. Why? Because when we send out the korbanos on Yom Kippur, when we do the avoda, we send the Kohen Gadol, and the Kohen Gadol is representative of Am Yisrael. The Sa'ir LaAzazel and the Sa'ir LaHashem are both two korbanot tzibur. And when you send the korban tzibur, you have to represent the nation as a whole. It has to be everyone unified as one homogeneous being. And if you just sort of tell someone you feel bad that you broke their toy, or that you stole their car, or that you, clipped their cow, as the case in the Mishnah and the Gemara, it'll be good, but in order to create one homogeneous being, one organic entity, you actually have to do that extra level of bringing your friend closer to you. And so being Meratza Chavero is actually an exercise in unity for the nation. When you have unity, then you could go in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the korbanot. And so without that, you're not coming as a tzibur, you're coming as a group of individuals. I thought that was a really nice idea. But I thought even more so, he explains that, again, so much of the corpus of halacha is actually bein adam l'chavero. And if you're only focusing on part of it, then he describes it as like tovel b'sheretz b'yadu. It's as if you go into the mikveh and you're still holding a sheretz, something that's tameh, because you're willing to go above and beyond for some of the mitzvos, but not for all of them. If you're willing to come in front of God and say, I am going to rectify my behaviors in all of the different ways in which you've commanded me, then you're in a place where you can get kapara. But if you only focus on some, then your tshuva is insufficient. And so if you want to obtain complete kapara and complete tahara, then you have to come in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu with complete tshuva, with both bin adam l'chavero and bin adam l'makom together. All right, we've got 10. Ready to rumble? So hopefully this Yom Kippur, I know I'll be focusing a lot more on bin adam l'chavero, and hopefully we all will as well. Gemar Tov.